Yo, yo, what's going on? Welcome
Hey,
to
is
the
this Rap
channel.
Wars?
Yeah, this Rap Wars right here.
Hold on. Hey, I decided to get the Doom mask. Playboy Cardi, Trippy Uzi, them niggas all trash. That's my
Hey,
rap for
say
Rap
that.
War.
That's what's up. Y'all tap in,
What's
don't
going
tap
on, buddy?
out.
Nah, that was a little fake little rap. I just said I see you got rap in your title, so I be having to let niggas know, nigga, I can rap too, nigga. I don't just get on the internet talking shit, nigga. I really can rap. What's going
Oh
on,
yeah.
my guy?
Nah, you already
What we
know.
doing?
Just we about to get it in right now. Get the whole life story, all that.
You want to hear
So
my life story?
we're gonna
Really?
get to all that for sure.
Okay, let's
All right, but
go.
let the people know who you are and where you're coming from.
Oh, well, I am Pro Rogan, host of the Why Not podcast, also co-host of the Realest podcast with my boy Persian Legacy and my boy Spody Face. Uh that's who I am. South Central Factor is what they calling me now. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's
Hey,
me.
nah, that's what's up right there. All right. So how did you get your name? I know you call yourself Bro Rogan. Was it like heavily? Was it influenced from Joe Rogan or?
Absolutely. So I I've been listening to podcasts for years, like before like hip hop ruined podcasts. But no, I'm joking. Hip hop didn't ruin podcasts, but a lot of these other guys have. But I used to have a contract because I'm a contractor. I'm a drywaller carpenter union. So I had a
All right.
contract with Kaiser. So I was doing Kaisers at nighttime where we were going from key entry to keyless entry. So what we would do, we'd cut out the little pocket, had electricians put the wire in there, we'll put the drywall back in, and now you got keyless entry. So I had probably 140, 145 different Kaisers to do up and down the state. And it started to get lonely. And I'm a guy who like at a certain point music just didn't hit me during these years. So I would listen to more talk radio, whether it be baseball, because I love baseball, comedy. And then I got introduced to the Joe Rogan's podcast, just, YouTube giving me recommendations. And there
Yeah.
was this one guy on there named Joey Diaz. Shout out to the Church of What's Happening. Um, and he was telling a story about Sunset Boulevard in the '90s. Well, I was on heavily in the streets back in the late '90s, early 2000s, hustling, and one of my spots was Sunset Boulevard because my best friend lived on Sunset, and me coming from South Central, I could get double or triple the amount I could there. So like I would go there to get triple the amount, double the amount more than at night, man, Sunset was grimy. It was before like all of the fucking before all of the clubs and all of the nightlife. Like back in those days, anybody would tell you Sunset at night was only hustling and pimping. That's it. It was no nightlife. So like people who was out there, they was only out there selling, buying drugs, selling, buying coochie. And
Yeah.
so he was telling his story about his comedy career and when he started, how he would be on Sunset and he mentioned some shit. He mentioned a few people that I actually knew. And I'm like, wait, he's talking about my situation. Long story short, I started listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. And from there, I started listening to old clips of the Opie and Anthony show. Then I started listening to When Bears Attack podcast. And I just started getting on this podcast. Like I said, I like talk radio. I like to hear people tell stories. Right. And I just want to be caught up on one type of story. So that's why I really like Joe Rogan's because even though like I had podcasts that I would listen to, like I said, like When Bears Attack or it was always the same stories, which can be entertaining. But reason why I like Joe Rogan is because of the guests. He would have different kinds of guests. He would have scientists. He would have teachers. He would have comedians. He would have rappers.
Yeah,
And
like
me being
variety.
yeah, a variety. And me being an LA guy, I'm a guy who might be from South Central, but I went to high school in Hollywood and in Palisades. So like and then like I have an eclectic number of different friends. So I looked at it like this: if Joe Rogan's if I did a podcast, I would be kind of like the Black Joe Rogan because I have a whole lot of different friends, and I can interview everyone, whether it be producers of music, producers of shows, actors, gang members, hairstylists, barbers. I have those kind of friends. So I basically wanted to do a podcast based on him and based on the people I know. So 2017, I started my first podcast out of my girl's salon, and I always wanted to be the guy behind the camera. I mean, in front of the camera, not behind. So I didn't learn how to edit. I didn't learn how to use my equipment. I just bought all the equipment and I hired someone to do it all. However, I always shut the fuck up. Oh, my bad. I always wanted to base
Okay.
my podcast from a different, like, I always wanted my podcast ran like how I watched podcasts. I never watched podcast shows from beginning to end. I watched clips of different interviews over the time. So that was my whole thing. I always wanted to do clips. And why are you gay? I don't know.
People be
But
crazy in these comments.
I love reading the comments. It bothers me. It bothers me none. But so I wanted to release clips, and then my episode. However, the guy I hired, that nigga had like a meth habit. Sometimes he'll show up, sometimes he wouldn't. And I shut down my podcast, and I said I'm not gonna start another one until I'm all the way ready, which meant I needed a studio. I didn't want to do it out of my girl's salon anymore. I wanted a logo. I wanted a good catchy name. And at the time, I was calling my podcast Lost Angeles Times, kind of like the newspaper, but with a T, Lost, Lost Angeles Times. That was kind of corny. So finally, a few years later, I got a studio, penthouse studio downtown LA. I spent maybe like fucking anywhere from 15 to $20,000 on the space and on the equipment. And I was thinking of a name. I came up with Why Not? Because with the name Why Not, that has several meanings. It can be like, I'm gonna start a podcast. Why not? I'm gonna end my podcast. Why not? I'm gonna go fuck some bitches tonight. Why not? So it was like, it was just a good name because it can mean so many different things. So I called an
Yeah.
artist to come up with the logo because I already had the name, and the only thing I said was I want it to be Dodger blue and white. That's it. Because like I said, when I say I like baseball, like, bro, I got probably 6 different Dodger tattoos. Like, I fucking love my Dodgers. This ain't no new shit. So that was my
Dedicated.
main thing. That was my main thing. I said, just make sure that it's Dodger blue. I came up with the font. He drew up a few ideas. I picked one. I trademarked it, and that was the start. Now I'm not done with. We still talking about how I chose my name. I tell a long story, so that's another reason why I did podcasts because I really can talk forever. And, I had a friend who used to manage Corrupt, the rapper from Dog Pound. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that,
Yeah, I
but there
remember.
was a
I'll
group.
be
Okay,
bumping this shit.
so I was calling myself something else at the time because I don't want people knowing my real name because I think it's crazy for people in the streets because I knew my shit was gonna pop. I just know, like, eventually, if it take a fucking year or 2 or 5, I knew at a certain time I was gonna get myself out there just because of the people I know, just because how highly opinionated I am on things, and just because, like, I'll be outside, really, I'll be everywhere. But I had to find a name, and I was calling myself something else, and it just didn't stick. But on the side, I was calling myself Bro Rogan as a joke, like I'm your bro, and I'm like Joe, but I'm Bro Rogan. And the guy who used to manage Corrupt, shout out to J Rock, PT, he was like, bro, that's it right there. You shouldn't call yourself nothing else. I like it. It's hilarious and it's catchy. And from there, I've been Bro Rogan, and it's been it's been
Yeah,
catchy.
for sure. Yeah, your name definitely pops. Like,
Right? It's hilarious.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so the whole podcasting, you already knew you wanted to be in like that whole game, doing podcasts and all.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Well, at the time, podcasting for me, um, I knew eventually it could be something I can do as a career, right? But for the time, it was a hobby because I have a good career. Like, I'm in the union and shit, so it's like it wasn't something that I even right now. It's still something that I'm just now, like, not only learning, but I'm taking kind of serious now. Like, I got a good producer who's editing all of my clips and everything from my realist shit. I've been
All
on no
right.
jumper. I've been on no jumper maybe like 10 times. So it's like now and then like I just shout out to Blue Devil and Hater World, man. I went on there recently
Yo,
and
shout out to them.
I sparked some controversy and it's been going crazy. So now it's like I finally did my first million. And now it's like, okay, now it's to the point because like I was getting recognized. I'm not to pat myself on the back, but like I would go some places and like a few people would notice me. Hey, you bro Rogan from my show. But like now that these clips are coming from Hater World, bro, it's getting crazy. I'm getting
So you're becoming like more famous and all.
I had to decline that call. I'm getting all kind of niggas is doing reaction videos to me. I'm like, oh shit, a nigga done made it. So
No, that's
now
fire
it's
right
about to
there.
become. Now hopefully I can turn this hobby into a career. Yeah,
No, that's what's up. Yeah, I seen that one
podcast.
video. Some guy came up to you and he was like, "Oh, is that bro Rogan or something?" So, and you were just like walking down the street or something like that. So,
When you see me in the alley recently,
no, I haven't seen you, but I seen you post a video of like some guy just walked up to you and said he like praised you and all, like he knew where
oh
you were.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was at A1 Burger on Vernon Avenue. Yeah, that was crazy. That was before Hater World. Like I've had those kind of encounters. It's been all with dudes. Come on, ladies. When y'all gonna start recognizing me so I can start taking advantage of that shit? But it was all dudes. But this one dude, he was like, "Hey, bro, did I just see you on No Jumper yesterday?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "Man," and he gave me a hug. He was acting, he was really fanning out, and like it was shocking to me because I'm like, "Wow." It's like I'm not in a celebrity. I don't think and like for him to be like, "Bro, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now." It was a good feeling. I'm like, "Damn, people fuck with it," and like I'm a guy. If you fuck with me, I fuck with you. If you really fuck with my content, then like that's why I interact with the people a lot in the comment section, whether it's negative or positive, because it's like you fucking with me, no matter if it's negative or not. And like I'm gonna always respond. I'm gonna have fun with people because to me it's fun. This is fun. It's not threatening or none of that shit. I mean, even if somebody was to threaten, nigga, when I see you, like, okay, I hope
Yeah,
you be prepared because I got a black belt. I'll fuck the person up.
hey,
But
no, for
yeah,
real.
man, I'm having
So it's
fun,
most
bro.
so becoming more famous like all around. Do you get like more positive like feedback and like comments
In
like
person,
negative?
I get positive feedback in person. However, on the internet, I get 90% hate, and that's what I love. Like, I love the haters. I love it. I wish, like
Most
I said, more women. But the haters is what drive me because it's like I'm obviously doing something to make someone I don't know not like me. That's when you know you're doing something good. Because if a person who don't like you is taking their time out of their day to write some negative about you or do a fucking reaction video based on you, then nigga, who's the fool? Me or you? You don't like
definitely.
me, but you're taking your time out to discuss me. So who's really the fool? You know what I'm saying? Like, see,
No,
some of the
I
shit
hear
that
that.
I've said already within this 13 minutes, you can clip and it's just gonna go. Like, so be prepared, rap wars. And I battle
Hey,
anybody as far as raps. You call yourself rap wars, do you always have rappers on here?
yeah, that's mostly who I interview
I
rappers. I
battle
started
them
to interview
niggas.
podcasters.
I battle all the rappers that you done had on here. I
Hey,
challenge
we can
them
set
niggas.
something up for sure.
Hey, tell them niggas I challenge them. The young ones and the old ones.
Hey, we can
But
get that
yeah,
going.
so yeah,
All right,
that's
so okay, okay. So
mhm.
I was gonna ask you something else. What's something that you always wanted to try, but you've been like too scared to try it out?
I don't live my life like that. Like
Okay,
I
what?
okay. Uh I
So you
can't say there's something that I always wanted to try that I'm too scared to try because I'm a warrior. I don't live with fear. I know the difference between right and wrong. So if there's something that I fear, it's a survival instinct of fear. Not I don't fear anything that I want to do. One thing I've never been in my life is shy. I don't know what that is. Like, so like if there's something that I want to do, I'm gonna fucking do it. Now, if there's something that I'm afraid of, it will be something like camping. I'm not
Mm.
into that shit and I don't want to do it. I've rented, we used to have a cabin
The
on in the
Bears,
upper
huh?
bro of everything. We used to have a cabin in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's where my girl is from. And I would spend my daughter and me and my girl, we would go up there for summers and winters every year. And one summer, we're just chilling on the balcony because it was right on off the lake. Lake was it was Lake Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. Anyway, Houghton and Hancock. But one day we chilling. I look to my right. This is the biggest animal I've ever seen in my life. It was a moose. Have you ever seen a moose in person?
I haven't only
Bro,
seen them like on
I'm gonna
TV
tell
and
you
all
like
that.
this. I've been on Clydesdale horses. I've bro, if you see a excuse me, if you see a fucking moose in person, you're gonna fucking trip. One, it has the biggest face you'll ever see, but the antlers, nigga, them motherfucking stretch from one end of the room to the next. And it was just, I just kept thinking, damn, it's a nigga out in those woods right now camping. On top of that, we driving from the bar and we're on the back roads and like a bear would just walk across the road. Deer, it's just shit like that. I don't fuck with that shit because like that's their inhabitant and like they will kill you with no word. Like they will kill you. And I just don't want to be I don't want to be bear shit. I don't want a bear eating me and then he take a shit and like that's me now. I'm a pile of fucking bear shit. So that's something that like I don't want to do, but that's something I fear. But there's nothing that I would want to try that I'm afraid of. Like, no, no. I know eventually if there's something that I want to do, I'm gonna do it because I've done a lot in my life, and like I plan on living a long, long time. One day I want to climb a pyramid in Egypt. I heard they don't let you, but like I want to be the person that they allow. I want to climb the pyramid from fucking bottom to the top,
Hey, no,
just to say I did it.
that's fire right there for sure.
Thank you.
What's the biggest risk you ever taken?
Podcasting
And why
because
do you say that?
it's putting myself out there because I've always been the kind of person like when you meet me, there's only two things. You either really like me or you really don't. There's never been in between. This is how I've been since I was a kid because like I said, I've never been shy. And a lot of people who are like recluse, like when they see someone come into a room with energy and they talking to everybody, a lot of people are intimidated by that and they take it as like, oh, this nigga trying to show off, or they'll take it.
Mm.
So like even like in a room of one person, I'm always the same, and like that's how I come in. I come in without changing. I'm always gonna be me. I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, but like I've always been like that. And like whenever I go out and it's always been like that, I know what type of person I am and I know how people take me. Like I said, it's either one or the other. And for me to put myself out there for strangers was a risk because let's say I come into your party and immediately, some of your friends would be like, I don't like this nigga right here, bro. Like, bro, too loud. He talk too much. But by the end of the night, they're gonna be like, he actually a cool dude. He just one of them dudes. And like they'd be like, damn, he not even on drugs. We thought he was on drugs, but like he just one of those dudes that just got a lot to say. And that's
Yeah,
the risk I took by doing this because I don't have the opportunity to for you to get to know me like I do in person. So people judging me based on the internet, and that's the risk. But that's the risk I was willing to take because I don't give a fuck about you. I don't know you, so why would I give a fuck about what you think or say to me?
nah, yeah, that's
I
real
have
for
a good
sure.
life. Like,
Nah, so you don't really care. What you're saying is you don't really care what anyone else thinks and shit. You're just gonna do it.
fuck no. Hold on. Look at my dog. My dog don't give a fuck either. What's Francine?
Hey,
No, I
no,
don't give a
that's
fuck.
right. That's right. All right.
I should
Okay,
have
and
did this interview. I got a Supreme scooter. Should have did this shit from my scooter. That'd been fire.
just riding
Riding that
down the
motherfucker.
street. Huh?
It
Yeah,
was just cloudy. I got toys. I like to have fun.
and no, that's
My
what's
scooter
up.
being one.
All right, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Nigga, every nigga should say to fly. I would want to fly. Fly. Like that's the greatest superpower, I believe. Like nigga, I want to tell a bitch, hey, I'm about to come see you and come down flying on her ass or pick her up, put her on my shoulder. We going out and take,
Superman type shit on.
Superman type shit. Like, why you think there's so many versions of Superman? You got Shazam, you got Black Adam, you got Captain Marvel. Those are all characters based on Superman because his superpower of being able to fly and that strength is so powerful that niggas copied him and try to make characters similar to him. So hell yeah, flying, hell yeah,
Hey,
fly by, fly by a bitch bedroom window and wave and keep going.
hey, yep, yep. Okay,
Yeah,
and what's the most unusual place you ever visited?
that's a great question. Uh, Adalitas in the early 2000s. You
Wait, where
hear
at?
Adalitas?
What's that?
Adalitas and TJ.
Oh, all
You
right,
don't
all
know
right.
what that is?
Nah,
That was
nah,
the
nah.
most unusual place I ever visited because I've been to plenty places like that before, but it was like I was in the room full of Salma Hayeks, and I just couldn't believe it. Oh, it was Christmas in January. So that was the most. And once you make a clip out of what I just said, a lot of people gonna know exactly what I mean. I think it's called Hong Kong now, but Adalitas definitely was the most unusual place I ever been the first time I went. The
All
seventh,
right, all
eighth,
right.
ninth, and 20th time was cool, but that first time was crazy.
That shit was that wild out there.
Well, yeah. It was I was going there expecting something and then I was a lot more I got a lot more than what I expected in a good way.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into where'd you where were you born and raised?
I am from I was born in Killer King Hospital in Watts, but raised in South Central Los Angeles. From LA, like really, 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 really from LA. Like where is it? Like the 10 freeway. Like it really, really, really from LA, not the outskirts, not the valley, not the IE. Shout out to those people. But like when I say LA, I'm really like LA, like I'm a Los
The
Angeles
heart
guy.
of LA.
My mail says Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? My zip
Yeah.
code is in the 900s. Yeah.
All right, so how was it like just growing up at a young age in LA?
Let me tell you, I'm in my 40s, bro. I'm not a kid. I'm in my early 40s. Um, so that means I was a kid in the 90s, born in the 80s, but like teenager in the 90s. The 90s in LA was a war zone. It was a lot harder, I believe, then than it is now. Because if you watch movies like Colors, uh, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, those movies were based on
Awesome
everyday
classics.
life. Like when you see the scene in Colors was like funerals getting shot up and like that's really what LA was. LA was really that. Like no matter where you were, especially me being from South Central, being living in South Central, one thing about South Central, every 2 blocks you in somebody's hood. So you grow no matter where you at, you growing up in South Central, you are in someone's hood, no matter where. There's no part of South Central that isn't a neighborhood. So just off the rip, you in somebody's neighborhood. Secondly, you got to remember these guys have enemies. So you playing as a kid, whether you at the park or in the street, you're in someone's territory or you could be a victim. Even knowing that as a kid, it was hard because you go into the store. You and in the '90s, bro, it wasn't like when it wasn't like the kids nowadays. Like if I got up right now and I look outside, I'll open up my gate front yard. You got, and there's no kids outside, bro. Where the kids
It's
at?
all
Look,
peaceful and all.
yeah. So no, and I'm just saying, like, kids don't be outside anymore. So that's the reason why I say it's a lot easier. It was hard because we were kids. It wasn't nothing for us to do on the inside. Everything we wanted to do, we had to do outside. So it growing up was hard, but it was not. It wasn't. It was fun because even though you knew all of that shit, you didn't think about it. You just wanted to go play, or you wanted to go run around looking for broads. Like, so even with you knowing and all of that shit, like you didn't let it stop you. I know we didn't. We was those guys that was really outside. We had all the functions. We had all the parties. We had, we had all the barbecue. We barbecuing. Like that's what the fuck we was on. So like, yeah, that's how growing up in LA was. You had to you have to always watch your back. Always. Every car you hear, you looking at the car before it got to you because you didn't know if they was coming to shoot or just driving through. And that's really how it was. Really, 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 really how it was. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Excuse me. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I was 14, excuse me. My brothers and cousins all, I was the youngest. So like they all were like 5, 6 years older than me. So when I'm 12, I'm hanging out with my 16, 17-year-old cousins and shit. So I'm a little kid thinking I'm their age. And all their friends was their age. So like my porch growing up was the porch everybody hung at on my porch. So it was like 15, 20 guys every day. So there was the point to where there was a lot of drive-bys at my grandmother's place. Me having friends and families part of certain gangs. My grandma like, y'all niggas can't hang out on this porch. However, I had a homeboy, Victor, who mom let us hang out at her house. She like, y'all boys can come in the backyard, and the steps to her backyard led right up to Victor's bedroom. So she was like, instead of y'all niggas hanging out in the front, getting shot at all the time, y'all more than welcome to hang out at my house. However, Victor, I was 14, he was 18. He liked to play with guns. And unfortunately, he shot himself on accident and hit blew his brains out while we're all there. Uh
Yeah, that's crazy.
so we go back with like, we the police come pick us all up. 15 of us they took to the station because they just wanted to make sure that none of us pulled the trigger. And we during his funeral, we're caravanning to his house, to his mother's house to have the repast. And before we can even park, somebody came by and three of my friends got shot that day that we buried my friend. They didn't die. I got shot in the shoulder. Troy got shot in the stomach. The other homie got shot in the leg. But before we can even park our cars, after burying our homeboy who shot himself on accident at this same lady's house, three of us got shot. So that's what LA was. And like they came, I still don't know who it was that came through. Maybe they seen somebody they knew. Maybe they just seen a bunch of guys. I still have no clue. But that was the reality of LA. Like you're burying, you just buried your friend an hour ago, and here it is. You already got
Yeah,
three victims
yeah, drive by and all that.
right before we can even park our car. So like that's how it was. And like me being, I was 14, and like I was already like accustomed to that. Like I didn't miss a day of school because of it, or like it was normal. It was like regular shit. Like I used to go to school and not even talk about it because, like I said, I was going at that time when I was a freshman. I was going to Fairfax High, and I like some of my friends. They lived in like West LA area, which it was shit happening down there, but like not as much as where I was coming from. So like if I came to school and I'm like, what y'all niggas do this weekend? They have some fun shit, and I'll be like, yeah, man, we got shot at. And then it got to the point to where it's like after the third, fourth time, my homeboys was like, bro, what the fuck is going on where you live? It's like, why y'all niggas get shot at so much? And me being a kid and growing up around that shit, I thought, and this gonna sound ignorant as fuck, I thought it was normal. So when I'm like, wait, it don't happen to you guys in y'all neighborhood? They're like, hell no, we've never been shot at before in our life. And it was just shocking to me because I was like, damn, I wish I could say that. But like at the time, I thought it was normal. It was like because that's what me and my cousins or my friends over there were used to.
Yeah, it
And
was
I'm like,
happening so
that's
much.
it was hot over there. But I that's when I realized it's not like that everywhere throughout our city. And it was fucked up.
And no, for sure. So you definitely grew up like in violence and all that, and had to like,
Yeah, yeah. Violence. That's the name of the game. That's like, it's a doggy dog world. It's a war zone. It's still like that now. Like I hope when you go to these gas stations, you watching yourself wherever you are. And these is for the people listening. I hope when y'all at these red lights, you paying attention. You're not on your phone looking down because even though it's a lot safer now, you gotta always pay attention. Always keep your eyes open because you never know. Even if it wasn't intended for you and it's intended for someone by you, you always want to be able to get out the fucking way.
facts.
It's just survival mode.
Always
Instinct.
be aware.
Always be
No
aware,
doubt.
bro. Don't be square. Always be aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was your household like growing up? Did you
As a
grow up with
kid or
both
right now?
parents? As a kid, did you grow up with both parents and all that?
My mama was murdered when I was 2 by a drunk driver. I Yeah, my mom was killed. Taking me to daycare. A drunk driver ran a red light and hit my mom car. She died, he died, and I survived. So that was me. Then my dad left. They were already broken up at that time. So I was given to my grandparents. They took custody of me and my
Mm.
brother. I was 2 at the time, my brother was 8. So we were raised by our grandparents. So that was my household. I was raised by my grandparents who moved here from New Orleans and they had 7 kids. So I lived with my aunts and uncles who all had kids. So my mother, brothers and sisters had kids, and I had a lot of cousins. So I grew up in that kind of household with all my cousins and shit. But like, that was
Oh
my
yeah,
household. No mama, no dad. My dad gone. He's still here, but he wasn't around.
yeah.
And then
Oh
I guess my grandma wasn't allowing him to come around because I don't know what happened really like that. They wasn't fucking with dude though. But like I didn't give it like wasn't like I'm not one of those kids that grew up like, oh my god, I don't have a mama. And I never even thought of it because I had so many family members. Like they replaced the mom and dad. My cleaning people are in the house. I didn't. Somebody was at my window and I'm looking like forgot that they in there. But sorry about that.
no, it's all good. All right. So what did your grandmother do for work?
She worked. She was an RN. She was a registered nurse. She worked in surgery. So doctors, when they're performing surgeries, you have RNs in the room. They'll say, "Pass me the scapula," and they'll handle the tools. So my grandma worked in surgery. She had a pretty good job. So
Okay,
she
so she
was,
was pretty much like she was pretty much working all the time. 'Cause I know that
my
those
grandma
type of
never
jobs.
not worked. My grandma never not worked. She was a registered nurse for my whole time living with her. Like I that's why like shout out to I didn't grow up in that. I grew up I was one of those kids in the 90s that like that how you have that one kid that
Oh, I couldn't hear you. It kind of broke up. Hold on, I don't know. That shit went dark right now.
oh there I go.
Okay, we back.
You
We
know how
back.
you got those one kids that you grow up with that got everything like this nigga is spoiled. I was that spoiled kid that like had all the Jordan, had all the you know what I'm saying. So like
So you
yeah.
grew up in like a household where like your grandmother had money and all, like everyone else.
Not money. It was just she wasn't broke. And
Mm.
on top of that, I was getting social security money based on my mom being killed. So instead of my grandma taking that money and just keeping it for herself, she made sure I had everything I wanted. So
All right. So you
like
didn't.
my cousins, they probably I had some family members that was part of the county system. I know struggle. I had cousins in the projects. Like I probably had shit, but I wasn't in no big ass house. I was in a 3-bedroom apartment, where like some
Yeah.
of my friends on the block didn't get the finer things in life. I didn't, but nah, like I had struggle, but like not to the point to where I had food every day, every
All
day.
right. Okay. And then going to like a school and all, like elementary and all, would you say that you were straight A's, like in elementary
Hell
you did
no,
good?
fuck no. I was not straight A's, but I never not passed. I passed elementary, middle school, and high school. I'm because let me. I'm a guy who I fuck with street people. I live. I'm around street people. One thing I never ever subscribe to was ignorance. I like education. I've always been a guy. I started off reading comic books. Excuse me, but I read books not because I want to be. It's just because I enjoy reading. And I notice reading not only gives you an education, but it helps you know things that like certain people don't know. I don't know. I've always read. Like I got a library in my house where I think I read probably 80% of the books that I have. So I was never. School for me was easy. School for me was easy. However,
Right.
I hung out with the flunkies. Like we smoking weed. In my first 2 years of high school, I didn't go to first and second period. So like, like I failed out of those classes, but instead of me just accepting that, like I went to night school to get those credits back just so I can graduate on time and do all of that. Like I didn't want to be a flunky because I seen too
Yeah.
many of them, my brother and all of them, and not to call them flunkies. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't, at the time, my goal was to finish high school because I was the last one as far as like my grandmother raising, and none of them did. They were back and forth from YA, penitentiary. And my grandma needed to have one person at least go to college or graduate high school. And I just made sure that I was that one.
Mm. All right, all right. So what kind of crowd did you used to hang around with, like during your early teens?
Gang members and drug dealers.
So that's when you got like introduced to all that, like that whole world.
No, I've been born in that shit. All my cousins and all my uncles are gang members. I was
Oh, okay,
born
so
into that
you,
shit. Yeah, yeah. My cousins all gang bang, like
mm,
gang bang, gang bang. My
okay,
auntie,
so you would
like
see
two of my
them.
uncles too. Hell yeah, my aunt. Like, I was going to visit my uncles and cousins in YA and the pen ever since I was a little kid. My cousin Monique, she was 15, and we used to go visit her in camp. And then her brother was on the other side. So we'll visit her on the girl side and then go over to the male side and visit my other cousins. Yeah, all my cousins went to YA. All of them. Let me see. All of them. Let me see. Andre, Trip, Tyrone. Oh, bro. Yeah, they all went to the penitentiary. All of them.
Did that
All of
ever
them.
give you like a thought, like in your head, like, oh, I want to do the same thing as them. I want to join a
Of
gang.
course. See, let me tell you something. It's crazy. This is why, like, I know, like, I'm blessed. It started off like I just told you. I survived a car accident where two people died, and I was two. So starting off that, I knew I was blessed. But like, it's not like I wasn't doing shit. I did everything them niggas did, and with them. However, somehow I was never the one to get caught. See, that's the difference. You
You're
have
like
the
slick with it and all.
no, you just have some people are really chosen, bro. Like if you believe in the Bible, you already know that everyone's not God's people. And people might think that, but there's a scripture where he said a third of the people will be welcome. That means two-thirds of everybody. Your people live. That's it. But he only picked a third of all people. And a lot of people need to know, like, he has his chosen ones. And that's not me being arrogant, but it's just like certain shit you got to look at past luck. You got to look at it like, man, I am chosen. You know what I'm saying? So I just think
Yeah,
that that's how I look at it. It's
you were
like
blessed.
blessed. It's like I had a friend that talked to me about this. He's like, bro, like you gotta stop looking at shit as luck. because you are past luck starting with that accident that you survived. It's like that's not luck. That's a blessing. That's you being chosen. You doing all the dirt that all your cousins did and they all go to jail and you think that's just luck. Like that's not consequence. That's a blessing. And you got to start accepting your blessings because he's trying to tell you something, but you ignoring him. And that's how I'm starting to look at it now. But like, yeah, that I knew I never, I didn't been to jail before. I'd never been to the pen, but I'd been to the wayside. I've been to county jail, but like I've never did no real time, you
Mm.
know. And but I've
Yeah.
done real crimes.
All right. All right. So
Yeah,
for like your whole family being from gangs, like your cousins and all, would that
I
like
won't
become
mention
like
what
a
gang.
would that be like a problem for you, like with like enemies, like trying to like
No.
try to start shit
Well,
with
it
you?
was a problem with me as a kid because, like I said, I lived in a certain area, but my cousins was from another area, and we lived in someone else's hood because that's where my grandma moved us to when we were. But like us moving there, they were already part of something before we moved there. Cause like I said, they were 6 years older than me. So when I'm moving there at 7, these niggas is already 13, 14 years old. So they was part of something before we got there. So I grew up around in the area my cousins didn't get along with. And like the guys in that area knew we go on that block, it's all of these niggas over there. So when I say we got shot at a lot, that's why we got shot at because I lived on the street with 30 guys. 9 of them being my cousins, the other 20 being guys that just lived on the same street. Literally, it's 30 guys on my one street, and these 30 guys were from a certain area in LA that didn't get along with where we lived. So, like, whenever people drove down our street, it looked crazy because you see 15 niggas hanging out at one time, and you're like, these niggas not from our hood, and like it just was. That's why we got shot at a lot. So,
Did you feel like at one point you ever had to like keep a
I got shot.
weapon on you or something like that? Because all
I've
this
never
dangerous
not had a
stuff
weapon.
happening.
I never not, and like I'm not saying that being bragging. Like I said, it was a daily, almost. Well, I can't say daily. It was a weekly thing for us. So I had the mentality of I'd rather get caught with one than without one. So I at that time I never not had a weapon, and it wasn't to show off. It was just because you had to protect yourself. So like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
no,
don't have
most
any
definitely.
now, police. But like, nah, I wasn't one of those ones that was slipping. I got kicked out of Mount Vernon Junior.
I went black again. It's like kind of glitching.
Yeah, it's because
All right.
my phone be ringing off the hook. But I got kicked out of 7th grade because I got caught with a pistol. But it was a pistol that my cousins used to use to jack like the weed man and shit around. Like so, it was like a revolver, but it didn't have the barrel. So they should just pull it out the rob. It was a jacking toy. But I found it one morning. I was looking for something. I brought it to school with me. I got caught. And then, police rushed me and jumped. But I was such a good liar, man. When I was a kid, I'm like, yeah, I
You
found
got
this
out of
on
that
the
whole
way.
situation.
Man, I got out of it. I didn't go get arrested. I got arrested, but I was able to talk my way out of it. One, because I stayed in school. I wasn't one of those flunkies. And two, like my grandma believed everything I said. She was protecting me. And I was like, man, I found this on the way to school and I was about to turn it in. And like they bought that shit, bro. They bought that shit. Like they dropped the case. It was crazy. I was an amazing liar.
Oh, that's what's up right there for sure. Okay, and did you ever get into any drugs at any point in your life? Hardcore, or maybe even like weed, pills?
Can you see me? I used to smoke weed. I started smoking weed when I was 13. Then when I was 20, about to be 21, I looked at my cousin Corey. I was 21. I said, I'm never smoking weed ever again. He like, why? I was like, I don't know. Something just came over me right now, and I stopped smoking weed. I
Did it
have
make you like
never.
slower?
No, I stopped completely. That day was December 31st, 2001. I looked at him and said, I'm never smoking weed again. I went 16 straight years without smoking weed. But one day we were on vacation in the log cabin I told you about over the summer. We had rented a boat. We're all on the boat. My girl, my daughter, my brother-in-law, my sisters-in-law, my brother. We on the boat. We were on the fucking lake, and life just was good. And they smoke weed. They smoke weed every day. And I was like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna hit the joint. Why not? Like my fucking show. And I had my feet up. I said, fuck it, Zach, let me hit your joint. And I hit that shit. And I smoked it like I still smoked. And I got off the motherfucking boat and threw up. Weed made me throw up. So I haven't smoked
Cause
weed since.
nauseous.
I don't smoke weed. It's just something I'm not into. I don't like it. My girl and all my friends, they smoke weed back to back to back. Just me personally, I don't like it. Now, as far as pills, I have never, and this is the God's honest truth, I have never taken a Xanax, Roxy, none of that. I've never popped a pill. The only pill I have ever taken, I did ecstasy a few times because like I had a girl who talked me into that shit when I was like 20 some years old, and then I used to fly to Vegas for New Year's Eve, and one New Year's Eve I popped a pill, a, a ecstasy pill, and it made me too happy. And I don't like being like I told you earlier. I like to be paying attention. And like when I got to the strip, it's thousands of people. And if you know how Vegas is during New Year's, it look like
Oh,
little
oh,
LA,
yeah, that's packed.
all riffraff, it's gangbangers, and like the whole time I'm smiling and I'm just not on my pivot. And the next day I was like, "Dad, I never do that shit again." I felt weird because all I kept doing was smiling. A nigga could have hit me across the head with a bottle. I'd have turned around and smiled at him. It just didn't have me being me. So like, I wasn't into that shit. Meth, I'm that's something I'm never around, and I just think it's an ugly drug. I did powder a few times, but like that shit, but like pills I've never done. Never done no heroin, never done no muscle relaxing pills. I'm so afraid of pills. I had shoulder surgery in 2020, and I refused to take the pills because I'm like, what if I get addicted to this shit? And I didn't take the pain relief pills,
Yeah.
bro. I woke up in the middle of the night after the anesthesia ran out, and I was damn near crying. I have never felt pain like that in my mother loving life. And my girl was like, I told you you needed to take these pain pills. Why? And I said, give me 8 of them. So that I had to because they were given to me because of the surgery.
Yeah.
But after that first night, I didn't need to take them. No. But no, I'm not. I've heroin. I don't think I've ever even seen heroin in person. What other hard drug? Crack, of course not. I sold crack and like I knew what that shit looked like. And let me see. No, no. I drink. I like beer. But like nah, hard I've never been like into like hard shit. No.
So you were smart enough, like, to stay away from it and all.
Hell yeah, man. Hell, man, I had bitches. Bitches wasn't into that back then. Like bitches was at pulling up saying where the drink at, where the weed at. Bitches wasn't like, let me get a bump. Like, give me a bump, fool. Like, nah,
Yeah.
nigga. I was
Nah, I
into
hear that.
what the bitches like. That was not what the bitches like. I couldn't do it. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
nowadays, bitches be doing
Nowadays
everything.
it's
Shit, yeah.
cool. That's what the bitches want. Nowadays, these niggas just talking about that shit. They like being a druggie is cool. I'm gonna get some water. Being a druggie
Uh,
is cool. Like, no. So like, that's the thing. Look, this is my look at my bookshelf I was telling you about.
oh, shit, shit
Yeah.
stacked, huh?
Look at that. Look at my classic jukebox. No, but like being a junkie was cool back then. I mean back now. And like
Well,
to
now,
me,
yeah, it's pretty.
that shit
Everyone's like into
goofy.
that.
But don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I don't want to be that old nigga that's like talking shit about the kids like we was doing doing shit too. Niggas was nigga, Niggas was out here in the 90s and 2000s snorting powder and fucking doing smoking sherm. So like nigga, drugs have always been in the community. So I don't want to make it seem like these niggas like we so
Yeah, there was just
my girl
different
be
type.
getting like
No, I was saying there was just different type of drugs like at certain like times and all that people were fucking with.
we just hit it better.
Mm.
That's what it was. We hid it. We didn't put it out there for some reason. They like putting that shit out there. Like they love like I don't understand. Okay, let me say something. I don't understand. I remember my first time in Texas when I first seen niggas drinking lean. I didn't understand lean because I didn't understand why would somebody want to do a drug that made them the way they
Like,
were. Like, you know what I'm saying? To me,
yeah, I
that
made them
shit didn't look
tired.
fun. I like these. These are fucking fire. I didn't understand that. Like, look at how fucking lean y'all niggas is sleeping. Like y'all niggas is so like I never understood why that was a way somebody wanted to be. Why you want to be slumped over, falling asleep, not paying attention to people around? I don't know. It just that shit don't look fun to me. It really don't. But like to each his own. I can't knock you for what you like. I like what I like. People like what they like. So I can never knock anybody for what they like.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
Future got these like youngins like fucked up on that shit for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing in our community, whether it be your community. Now, let me ask you a question. In the Hispanic community, um, is like drinking lean and popping these pills. Is that something that's in your community? Because I see it a lot in the Black community. Is that a thing? Like kids your age in the Hispanic community, like is their drug of choice like the what is those oxycontin pills and that kind of shit? Is that what they do? Y'all drink lean
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah, time to time if you could get your hands on it, you know how that shit's like expensive as fuck now.
But
But yeah,
like that's the
pills for
drug of
sure.
choice,
But now the drug of choice, I would say in my area, like in the
meth,
valley, San Fernando, I would say it's just like weed and maybe
meth.
drink, like
Nah, nigga,
alcohol.
don't try to
There's
make
only
it seem like your community so much better. What they doing? They not just drinking lean. I mean, they not just drinking alcohol and fucking weed. What else,
there's
nigga?
like there's like a certain group I would say,
They do
but
lip. They
like
doing meth.
overall would just be like weed, alcohol. Like I guess pills went out or like it phased out during like maybe the early 2016s, 2017.
Oh, okay. I believe you. Well, shout out to your community and them phasing out pills, cause it ain't phasing out in this community. I wish it would.
But I would have to say like fentanyl is like fucking up the communities like over here and all. But
Now they're doing. Now, when you say fentanyl, are they doing it pure fentanyl, or are they doing the pills that they know mixed with fentanyl?
some of them like they know it's already like mixed and all, so they'll take that shit. So
So why is
yeah, yeah, we're gonna get back to you for sure. All right, so okay, so pretty much overall you stay away from drugs. You'll pretty much just drink alcohol and all. So you're clean overall. Mm.
eat my some Italian stuff like so like yeah, I drink, but not like that. I open up my fridge. That's kind of rude to do. But like even if I got this in there. If you know, you know. Pliny the Elder. It's not an easy beer to find. but it's a great beer. But like, yeah, I drink, but like, not even like that. The last drink I had was probably New Year's Eve. But I don't really drink like that. But I
It's just
drink. I'm not a prude. You know, I drink. I would drink, nigga. If I had a bottle of Hennessy right now, I would take a few shots. It's just not something I do every day.
yeah, yeah. No, I
Not
hear
at
that.
all.
Okay. So when you graduated high school, what did you
I
do
was at
afterwards?
Palisades High School, like near Malibu. But go
What was
ahead.
your
So
what was like your goal afterwards, like finishing
I
high
was
school?
gonna go to college. I was going to West LA College, but I was such a smart person. One thing I didn't want to live at home. I knew because, like I said, you know, my mom died early, my grandfather died, two of my uncles died at that time before when I first got out of high school, and they were younger than my grandmother was at the time. So my whole thing was I can't go to college. One, I was so and like I'm this gonna sound repetitive. This gonna sound like oh he just but like I was really really into the girls, bro. Like I was into the bitches. So like I knew one my grandma couldn't afford for me to go to college without a scholarship because she's still taking care of a lot of people. Two, I knew my focus wouldn't be on school. I knew if I fucking was in college, I would be more focused on those bitches. So I didn't want to waste the money. I didn't have the money. So I knew I had to work one because I had to get my place. So right after school, I got a job. Went and worked at the post office. Then I worked at Home Depot. I got my first house by the time I was 20. So that was my thing. I couldn't be, I knew I didn't have the luxury of living on my couch because one, I didn't have a mom or dad I can fall back on and just live with them. And I knew my grandma was getting old. So that's how smart I was. I was like, bro, I gotta look out for me because it's just gonna be me soon. And yeah, so I got my place. I got work and I got my place. I had my place. And I've been on my own ever since. Not on my own, I got a girl and shit, but like, yeah. So that
Yeah,
was my
no,
goal.
no,
Then I
that's
got a
what's up.
career.
So you kept
I
like
joined the
I was gonna say you
huh?
kept a clean record, like to where like your
No, no,
background, all the
no,
background checks and all that, like you can get a
no,
job.
no. My first case, I had my first case at, well, my first time getting arrested, I cut a girl's ponytail in the sixth grade. We got arrested for that. And then my next record was 14. I got a burglary. I mean, no, I got a robbery. One of my friends, we were at Palms Junior High. He saw a kid. He ran up on the kid. Went in his pockets, took all his shit. When I ran up on him to see what he was doing, it looked like we were helping. So as we're walking to the bus stop, we happened to walk by the kid while he was like we hit a few corners. We walking to the bus stop. We see a cop and we see a mom and we see a kid. It just so happened to be that kid. He like there they go right there. So I got arrested and charged with robbery because I was with the guy. And this is when I was 14. My next charge, I got
Did you end up going to
breaking it.
juvie?
I got 3 years probation. Uh, I got 3 years probation because I promised to stay in school. School kept me out of a lot of shit. It kept me out of a lot of shit. One, because that was always because they checked that with juveniles. They checked their school record. If you one of those juvies out here committing crimes and they look at your record and they're like, damn, you're not a productive individual. You're not even in school when you're supposed to. They'll send you to YA immediately. But if you a kid like me who stayed in school, hold on, Esperanza. My jacket in the washer. Can you no dry? Can you just hang it? Yes. Thank you. So so that's what they did. They checked that and that God bless me for always like in school and that kept me from going to juvie, bro. So that case I was given 3 years probation. Then my next case I caught was commercial burglary. I got 6 months in the county, but right before I bailed out. Then I was still selling drugs, and I got jumped by some guys,
Mm.
and they hit me with a gun, and they broke my jaw in two places. So now when I'm fighting my case, I was completely wired shut. They Instead of me serving those 6 months in the county, they let me do a probation. Then I went to jail for some other shit. But no, I've never had a clean record. It wasn't the record that kept me from getting work. So I got invited to join the union at 23, and I was sworn in and joined the union. And in the union, they don't check that kind of shit. Everybody in the union got a record. Oh no, so like nah, work. My record never prevented me from getting work. See, that's the bullshit a lot of people fall for, bro. That's the bullshit a lot of people fall for, where they like, man, I got a record, I can't. Yes, the fuck you can. You can work.
It's just harder. Oh shit, kind of glitched out again. Hold up. We got some technical difficulties right now. Give it a second, you guys. If y'all like this interview, make sure y'all tap into. Make sure to like, share, all that. Yep. We're gonna see if we can get them back on here real quick. I don't know what happened. So let me read these comments real quick. Oh shit. Yep. You already know the deal. This rap wars, spoken words, all that. And we got a couple more interviews coming up too. I was trying to ask him a few more questions about like other type of things, about him joining No Jumper, um, him and Four Extra, how they linked up. But we won't see right now for sure. But yeah, y'all tap into the Camel interview. Also got a interview with Tam from No Jumper. Y'all know who she is. Y'all tap into that one too. Who else we got? Just go on my YouTube. You'll see all the interviews, like recent interviews that I did. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end up like doing a pod maybe one of these days. But we're gonna get right to it. I also wanted to talk about the whole situation. But we'll get into that if we get them back on here. Yep. I got two more interviews coming up too. I got one with this guy. He's like does like quotes and all that. And like, I don't know. I really fuck with his content. We're gonna see what's up with that for sure. Yeah. So we gonna do a part two. Y'all stay tuned. We got